Good morning, everyone. We are shifting. We are just trying to get things organized this morning. And, sometimes systems within your computer just decide to force these different issues with you with reboot this, update this, yada, yada, yada. It's been going on now for a little over 30 minutes now, trying to get this computer up and running, but we finally are. So good morning, everyone. This is Carol, so AKA Naughty Bus, live on Thanksgiving prep week with two, wherever you are.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janice, AKA Wellness Diva 5.0. And we are here today with Mindset Monday. And, sometimes things go a little haywire. And I'm going to mute myself for just a moment because I'm getting a signal. I'm not sure what that means. So
a lot of signaling going on here. There's a lot of signaling. And, it's so funny because, you work really hard. We know we've been kind of retraining your thought process on your habits about really preparing for a week, especially during a holiday week. And who wants to have a glitch on Monday morning when you've got 1,000 things to do, right? You're working off of probably multiple lists, which we're trying to help you condense those lists and really make sure that you're on point and ready to have a very organized week because a lot of things are going on. People are traveling. So we're going to give you some key things to keep your mindset focused to what you have to do. And we actually had to apply some of those this morning. So how many of you wake up, and not traditionally say a particular week like this week with the holiday, but you've got deadlines to meet, you have things that people are waiting for, right? So you go to log in on your computer and it's in the middle of some sort of automatic update. And then it says, oh, you need to change your password for this. And we want to verify it's you. So we're saying something to your phone, double check your phone. You haven't checked your phone. Can you check your email? Well, you can't check your email because you can't even get on your email because it automatically changed your password. And then Microsoft signs you off and then Windows, and it just doesn't stop, right? Well, that was my morning. So literally I have been, I would say probably it's going on 40 minutes, was trying to really get my computer up and ready to go because I wanted to accomplish things that were on my to-do list before we got on this podcast. Well, guess what, people? Like you, it didn't happen. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. It's always not that easy. So we had to adapt a little bit. We got on just so, as far as our time-wise, we really try to keep till 8 a.m. to start. So we were only a little bit late on that aspect of it. But obviously it derailed what we had planned to do in the morning before our podcast, because each of us have, obviously separate businesses, other separate things going on. That didn't work out. So I often say, okay, so what can you do? So, you're beholding to the computer because you're just sitting there waiting for the update. Then it says, okay, then you get the alert for you got to check your phone to make sure that, it's verified that it really is you. So you go through that whole process. Finally, boom, bam, bing, we got on. That's not a way to necessarily that you want to start out your Monday. Oh, see, she keeps changing her backgrounds. Before she was all blurred and now she got some sort of alert. So she's, I believe she's now pretending she's either in a dentist office or a hotel room. But anywho, then when I finally did get on, then Zoom needed to do an update. So, it's just one of those things. So, we've kind of pushed that behind us, but Monday Mindset, we are here to help you keep organized this week for your big event. Well, what could be your big event? Maybe your big event is traveling. Maybe your big event is you're the one hosting Thanksgiving meal. Maybe your big event is just rallying up the troops, organizing them, kind of making some side dishes, and you still want to be organized because you've got a lot to do, and then kind of get in the car and go to where you got to go. How do you complete that in a timely manner that's not going to stress you out? So what did we talk about last week? We talked about recipe preparation, making sure you're going into your cabinet, that you have all the spices that you need, that they're not expired, because frequently, when somebody's maybe trying to make that crust and they're adding that flour or that yeast, they realize, it's not rising. Something's not working right. Well, maybe, your flour's outdated. Maybe it's your baking soda, your baking powder. There's all these different avenues, your yeast, all these things you want to check your expiration dates. So if you haven't done that yet, do not fret, do it today. And the reason why we say that is a lot of people like to introduce new recipes and or healthy other options to replace maybe an old recipe, and they want to kind of revamp it. maybe all of a sudden now out of the blue, somebody has a gluten sensitivity or an allergy, or maybe someone is going dairy free. So there's different ways that you can do that, but it's all about the preparation. So the first thing you want to do, check all your recipes. Write them down as far as what ingredients you need that you already know, that you've already checked that you don't have, and or that have been expired. So that's the first thing you want to do. And then you just kind of start to create your list. Now, for me, I chatted about this last week, and Jen and I were both talking about different avenues of when you go to the grocery store. I try to do it in 3 to 4 grocery visits for me. That works for me because I'm not overwhelmed with 1,000 bags and running from one end of the store to the other. Some people like to do it all in one shot. I never set myself up for failure with one shot because I tend to do that over the years, and I would always go back 2 and 3 more visits because I would either forget something, maybe it got misplaced on my list, or maybe they didn't have that particular item, so I had to go to another store. So I never say, oh, I'm going to do it in one shot, because that never, at least for me, never ever works out. So we want to know what works for you. But I usually tend to go 3 to 4 times, especially this year, because I'm definitely changing. Same recipes, but I'm changing some of the ingredients, which apparently I've got my family up in a roar, which is actually kind of funny. So I had, obviously, we're the family, we have a family chat, and we're discussing how excited we are. And I said, oh, I'm really excited for some different recipes, some changes, whatever. Well, then the texts started flooding in. Michael John, our oldest said, oh, you better not be changing that stuffing recipe. And he started to crack up. And then our daughter, Tina, I don't know if I approve of that. If it's going to be a vegetarian turkey, I'm going next door to the neighbors, because I'm sure they're not doing that. And then my son-in-law, how sweet he is, said, Nani, you can change any recipes you want. Just don't do that with the mashed potatoes. So it's so funny how everyone has their favorites of what I make. And I love to cook. It's the joy of cooking for me. I love, the parades. I'm sure everyone does. You put the Macy's parades on, you're in the kitchen bustling, and it's just a fun time. So, I assure them, trust Mama. I love to cook for them, and I promise them that they will be pleasantly surprised, and that things won't be that different, because that's what they're concerned about. Because your family, they look forward to those favorite tastes and flavors that coordinate with the holiday. So a lot of people generally, obviously will do the turkey, the stuffing, mashed potatoes, squash, whatever it may be. You associate all those flavors with Thanksgiving. Christmas time, it might be different. You may do a ham, Christmas ham. You may do a Christmas prime rib. Italians, Christmas Eve, we like to do the loaves and the fishes, kind of all the different fishes that are out there. So it's all those different flavors that your brain associates with that holiday. The smell of cookies, the smell of cinnamon, cider, nice warm cider with cinnamon sticks. That's always a treat. So there's different things. So we want to know what your flavors are, but also we're going to help you today on keeping really organized. Again, if you have not gone through your cabinets yet with all your spices and your ingredients, double check that, and then combine. In other words, combine your recipes. Say you need, 2 cups of sugar for this, 2 cups of sugar for that. You combine them all so you make sure you have the right quantity, because that's another thing that often happens. You start in the middle of baking and or cooking, and you realize, oh my God, I used the last 1/4 cup of my sugar. I got nothing. What do you mean I don't have another bag? So you just want to make sure that you've got plenty of whatever you need for your entire recipe list, whatever that may be. I also like to, so I usually try to my final countdown on grocery shopping is usually on Monday. And then I'm already working on Tuesday. So some things, depending on the recipe, may take some prep work on Tuesday. And then I'm talking about somebody that's hosting. So I'm doing the one that's hosting. So then I will do that. What recipes can I get done early and or start the prepping process? And usually by Wednesday morning, I'm already in the chopping stage. What I do is I like to chop and bag. So, however many things of celery I need, or onion, or, if I'm chopping, the bigger vegetables. This year I am making from Sandy Kern's book, which I'm excited, some different recipes with that. So I'm doing some prep work for that as well. I'm also making a gluten-free crust. So I'm going to get that going probably early Wednesday morning. So there's all these different prep things. But when you do that, guess what happens? You set yourself up for success for your holiday. A lot of people set the table the day before. So there's all these different things that we're going to kind of chat about. So Monday mindset is going to kind of go throughout the whole week, Jan. I mean, we're going to talk about how to have that mindset to make sure that you're hosting and or traveling, or that you're, being invited, and it's a stress-free week. And we're going to show you avenues on how to navigate through that.
Yeah, I mean, prep really is all in the key. I went to the store yesterday and I just want to say, who is the dumbass that thought of putting the cranberry sauce on the bottom effing shelf where nobody can see it? Because everybody I was walking by, hey, by any chance, have you seen the cranberry sauce? Like, what the?
Well, why don't we go with it this way? Because, this week's all about blessings and being thankful. So why don't we switch that around? So this is a key way that we can do this right online, right live. Maybe, well, hold on, give me a minute. I'm going to butt in and maybe you'll look at it this way. Maybe it was a new kid who finally got that job, because we do know that a lot of grocery stores are short on help, as with so much, because either, they're not paying enough, which shame, they should be. But maybe it was just a brand new person that was stocking, and maybe he got the wrong directions as to where to, fill the shelves. So maybe it was, it may be done in error, or maybe someone new who didn't know any better.
Okay, well, that's a little bit of a stretch, but all right, I'll go with it. But like everybody, and thankfully I ran into somebody, one of my neighbors, and I said, "Hey, Jans, have you seen the cranberry sauce?" "Oh yeah, Tony saw it. It's on the bottom shelf where nobody can flip and see it." So we both were commenting on that. Like all the holiday stuff is clearly within eyesight. Like it was just the way it would. Anyways, maybe I should just move on from the damn cranberry sauce. I got the damn cranberry sauce, so I'm flipping thankful. So that's what I'm thankful for. But yeah, got the other side of the house ready, clean, got dishes out, serving spoons, made sure I had everything lined up, and so I have mostly all that done. And it's going to be I decided I am not going to try anything new per se, because everything, the prep, and oh my God, I got to do this. I'm not used to entertaining, so I figured I would maybe for another time I will definitely try a new excuse me, a new recipe. But it's all in the prep, and before I go shopping anyways, I always clean out the refrigerator. It's just
Yes.
a habit that I have, make sure everything's nice and clean. And it just makes it so nice when you're coming home with the groceries, putting everything in there, and everything's nice and clean. And I love
Condiment too, right? The condiments. I mean, a lot of people forget to look at the dates of the condiments. Like with salad dressings or whatever, you use them a couple times, and or you have multiple. There's an expiration date. Get rid of them. That's another great way to clean out your refrigerator, is to like you said, organizing, but also get rid of the stuff that's expired.
exactly. And I did a lot of that. And Gary's like, well, what? This bag is so heavy. And I said, well, we're not over there a lot, and sometimes you forget what's over there, so I try not to keep too much over there. And there were some those what you put on a charcuterie board, or whatever they call that, the salami, and which
charcuterie board,
yeah, I have a hard time saying that word, but I had to throw that out. Thankfully there wasn't that much. But it's all in the prep. Like, what are the little things that you can do that are going to save you time? I finally got to cleaning out my hutch over here in the loft, because at that point I wasn't sure, well, we're gonna have dinner over here or over on the other side, and it's just a lot easier on the other side. I think it's more conducive to the entertaining factor. So yeah, getting all that stuff ready, grabbed out dishes, the silverware, all that kind of stuff. And just, one thing at a time, make those little lists. Now I got to make my list. Okay, put turkey in oven at,
I mean, it's always that battle, don't you know? I mean, it's so funny. I can remember, year after year after year, we had, a couple good friends back in Charlton, and we would like call each other early that morning. Okay, what are you doing? Because everyone's oven is different. And today the ovens they heat up quicker. They're more efficient. I remember as a child, it seemed like the flipping turkey went in at like 4 a.m. and it was cooking all day. The ovens are more efficient nowadays. So what I intend to do is, as I chatted last week, I did find a free range fresh turkey in it. I got to make sure that it does have the pop-up timer in it. But, I'm kind of following that, and not necessarily the oven. The oven I use as a gauge. Obviously, you have to, but more mindful of that the turkey is positioned in such a way that I can see the pop-up timer, because as soon as that pops, it's an eternal basically heater. So you pull that out, and because the turkey also has to rest, and you need a lot, time for that as well. So my big thing with that is probably putting a lock on the turkey, because my husband has a habit of, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Every time you open that flipping oven, you're letting all the heat out. So I'm like, taboo, you are not allowed in the kitchen as much as you want to be in the kitchen. You're not allowed in the kitchen. You can come in the kitchen when you're called to take the turkey out. That is it. Because we don't want a fiasco like last year with our brother Victor. Well, no, we'll probably have him help. Just because we have to, because it just was kind of funny. But anyways, you're right. It's just all these different little pieces that you've got to prepare yourself all week long. So what else are you doing?
Well, we're lucky in the sense, obviously, that we have 3 kitchens in this house. So there's no shortage of ovens, but we'll be using the oven over here and of course over at Poppy's, and they're both double ovens. So I should be more than covered with all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Just, prepping for the week a little bit each day. And that's about it, keeping that prep phase going. I got to get my list going today, what time, like I said, to put the turkey in, to do this, to do that. That'll keep me nice and focused.
Right. Now, so we're talking about those that are, hosting, but what if you happen to be traveling? Well, depending on what day you're traveling, we know already, regardless of the economy, that the Thanksgiving is the most traveled holiday. And if you're one of those that are traveling, obviously one of the first things you're going to be doing is, okay, where am I going? What's the weather? Address accordingly, because you may be going into warmer weather that may have cooler nights. You may be going into something that's, cooler throughout the whole time. Then you're coming from the south going to the north. So you want to kind of know, climate-wise, what to pack. What I found when we do go away is I have these Ziploc little squares. They're flexible, it's nylon. And I roll all my clothes now, whether it's, the bras, the under, socks, all that stuff. Okay, those are easy to roll because they just come that way. But I actually roll my outfits. So this time of year, especially if I'm going up north, I wear a lot of leggings. I wear a lot of leggings here too, but they're usually the right below the knee. But if I'm wearing the long leggings, I match whatever shirt I want to wear with it, and then I roll it. I find that it's I can prepare each day what I'm wearing, number one, so that keeps me organized. When you roll your clothes in one of these zip bags, it really allows you to condense a bulk versus just normal folding and sticking in there. It helps you with your weight for your whatever you're bringing, whether you're going to just bring a carry-on luggage or even just a smaller luggage. You can actually, when you kind of packed it in that way and roll it, you get to actually pack more because you're just being really precise in how you pack it. So I do that, and I start kind of really figuring out the climate highs and lows wherever I'm going. And then we'll start doing that. Same thing with your kids' clothing. Start getting organized 3-4 days before you are going. Don't be that last minute packer, because that's when what happens. Oh, I forgot this, I forget that. Well, sometimes that's okay. Don't stress over it, because obviously no matter where you're going, hopefully there's a store and you can always pick up what you do need. But and also know, if you're going for a week or 2 weeks, I try to now pack less. Because I tend to obviously go shopping with the kids or whatever. So, and if I'm going up north and if we're going to our daughters, I'd say I leave stuff there. So I am packing less each time. But guess what? There's always a washer and dryer. So I'll try to bring things that kind of mix and match, so it doesn't look like I'm wearing the same thing, just for the ease of packing. There's ways to like shoes, how many, like, especially with women, I gotta wear this pair of shoes for that, this pair of shoes. So I condense my color. So I'm bringing less shoes because that's usually your bulky item. So there's ways to do that about keeping yourself organized with packing. Also, one of the key things with traveling is checking for delays. We know this, they've already predicted there's going to be delays, and it may be because of inclement weather. I'm a firm believer of, normally when traveling on not holiday times, like I usually try to get there about an hour in advance, hour and a half tops, because I can't stand sitting around at an airport if I don't have to, but I allow still plenty of time to make sure that I can get there. But during holiday time, no, you want to plan for extra time. Maybe has to do with the traveling on the road that you're on, right? You may get into a traffic jam. Security lines are going to most likely be longer. So these are all things that you want to prepare ahead of time with your time between packing and getting to your destination. What kind of advice would you offer on that piece?
Pack your patience.
Mm-hmm.
Pack your patience, because we all want to get through. We all want to get through safely when traveling. And I think a lot of times people, obviously, in my opinion, go a little overboard. There's been so many incidents of air rage, but there's also in airport things happening. So you have to pack your patience, be observant. Just go with the flow. Yeah, you're gonna have to be in an area where I don't like wearing a mask, but if I'm traveling and have to wear a mask, that's what I do. I sign off on that when I make the air reservation. So just pack your patience.
I love that.
Before you, like, if you see something that is that annoying to you, or for instance, somebody really going off the rails, don't get involved with it, obviously, because you don't know how other people are going to react. But if there's nobody around, meaning airport authority, let them know, hey, I see this going on over there. It may be nothing, but it goes with the added verbiage, if you see something, say something. So pack your patience, be observant, and that will go a long way.
Right. And also, you also pack your patience with, if you're traveling with little ones. There are some people that do not, and I don't say that they don't like children, they don't like children's noise. And that adds that added stress level to the parents that are, making sure that, especially if you got, that child that's 2 years old, well, guess what? They have to wear a mask and they're pulling at it and tugging at it. Prep that child well in advance, a few days, and even just maybe practice it at home. We're pretending we're on an airplane. Let's put our mask on. And remember, we got to keep it on the entire time and show ways. Okay, we can pull it down when we're putting food in us, then we got to put it back up. We pull it down. We're going to take a sip of, whether it's a bottle or a juice box, whatever. Make it a little game. Let's see how many times we have to pull our mask down to eat or drink. And we're and actually keep a list so that the child sees, or do it with stickers. You have to be creative, because you also have to remember, like, pack your patience. Some of the flight attendants, not all, but a lot of them are also extremely stressed out. There are some that are a little power hungry with chatting about that piece to it, and they get quite stern. There are others, flight attendants, that it's the last thing that they want to do is really harass people about the mask. They don't want to do that. And then there's others that, like, just think they're that sheriff mask. There's a new sheriff in town. It's called Mask Up. Whatever it may be. Everyone has different personalities. We always talk about this with our health, our wellness. We look different. Our personalities are different. Our gut is different. Well, guess what? Our brains are different as well. So people may really project a different kind of feel to that. So you just want to make sure that the child is aware of it. And that you're going to do your best with, obviously you have to follow the rules, and there's nothing wrong with following the rules, but with children, it can be it's a little bit harder, or you just have that child that's now having that meltdown. Children have meltdowns. It's part of their right of expression. It's part of their right of not understanding the social cues that, as once you get to be older, more mature, that you will. So I would say pack the patience. In addition, especially for those parents, they need a lot of love. That adds added stress. So if you're one of those passengers shaking your head or, making the comments, oh, I wish that kid would keep quiet. Know that those things just add to the stress level for that parent. What I tend to do if I'm near a family, I'll kind of try to get the eye contact of the child and make some goofy face. I usually try to pack a little thing of, crayons or whatever and just say, ooh, once, just something to help ease, because I've been in that situation. We all have been in that situation. And it's not fun. It just adds more stress. You love your child, but you're trying to get your child to basically follow the rules. And with a child, it's just not always that easy. So I would say to those passengers that are not traveling with children, keep that in mind, be mindful of it, and be helpful. Be a good Samaritan and try to help that parent distract that child to make sure the child's doing what they're supposed to do. I think that's a good way.
Absolutely. So many good tips there. Getting some feedback on, I think, on your end.
On my end?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I'm not on. You're getting, what you talking about, playback?
Yeah, a little bit of through the whooshy, and it's coming in on your end, but that's all right. Well, we got the whooshy and the, pack your whooshy patience too. That's the way it goes. So yeah, so many great tips, be mindful, be patient, be kind, spread that holiday cheer where everybody's getting to a destination. What is your destination, and what will that bring for you and bring to your day when you're helpful and mindful to help others? And on that note, my name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, still figuring out the entertaining thing. And I am with two.
So this is Carol, so aka Naughty Boss, gonna kind of practice what I preach. Going to make that last minute check on my cabinet, gonna go get my list going, keep myself organized. And when we actually prepare, the end result is just, it's more smoother, it's more pleasant. And guess what? If something doesn't work out right, just work around it. There's ways to navigate that. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But anyways, you have a great Monday, and let's kick this Thanksgiving prep week off with a bang. Also, remember kindness and pack that patience. I love that. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.